So how about that on Europa, huh? This is just a very intriguing prospect. That deep down into the ocean where there's water, minerals, and heat, shrimp are thriving and one-eyed bacteria are thriving. This is more or less independent of anything going on the surface. Like, okay, Europa's got the ice, or it doesn't matter if the sun is, how close we are to the sun, or how much heat we get from the sun, because it's all heat driven by heat that comes from the inner planets, say, not the sun. So it really doesn't matter what happens on the Earth. And by the way, these things on the Earth do exist by the thermal events on the Earth are thought to be maybe the only life forms that might ever survive some catastrophic collision or nuclear bomb or something that might happen on the Earth. These things would likely survive that and just sort of go on. And the problem, though, with Europa, though, is the thick ice. It's very, very thick, maybe like 10 kilometers thick of the ice like that. So if Europa sort of looks like this and the core is in here, the part that you're going to get to sort of sample that water to see if any life is in there is sort of going to be in here, but the ice is very, very thick. So something like, I'll sort of draw the thick ice like this green part here. I guess I should do it in white, but you think it's very thick like that. So one of the missions this is not ongoing, but if you ever wanted to go to Europa to try to do this, you would have to land there, of course, and that, of course, has all of its problems. You just take a hint from Mars. Duration of the mission, building it, but then you would have to sort of drill, you'd have to sort of get down through that ice to sample it. And so it's like, it's kind of like a big bummer thing, because the technical hurdle for sampling that ice and seeing if there's any life down there is just kind of high at the moment. If you're looking for a movie to watch here, you should definitely see the Europa report. It's a bit of a science fiction thing, but it actually was quite well done. It has some really nice views of what Jupiter might look like from the planet Europa, and this is actually an image of a space probe they have there that they're going to start digging down through the ice to see if there's life in there. And there's a little bit of a surprise in there at the end, so it's actually a very highly recommended movie if you're looking for something like that. So, and here is sort of lastly then, sort of some proof that came from the mission here. So the spacecraft, which is the Galileo mission, was put on a collision course with Jupiter's atmosphere to eliminate any chance of an impact with the moon Europa. In other words, when they went to study the planet Jupiter with the Galileo probe, they didn't want it to crash into Europa, because, of course, if they did that, they might contaminate it. Contaminate with what? Well, Earth's bacteria, stuff from Earth that might have made it onto the space probe, like there might be bacteria all over the space probe, or relics from when it used to be on Earth. And if that crashed into Europa, that might start to flourish or live, and that might someday be mistaken for native life from Europa. We didn't want to do that. So at the end of the mission here, to eliminate any chance of impact with the moon Europa, which Galileo also discovered is likely to have the subsurface ocean, the team instead crashed the spacecraft into Jupiter itself to get rid of it. So it'll just get crushed and burned inside the big, thick atmosphere of Jupiter, not really affecting anything, but we didn't want to crash it into into Europa, pardon me. So the takeaway here from Europa is it is definitely a candidate for life. ET life, extraterrestrial life. And so lastly then, the question, why am I so bummed about Europa? It's because of the technical complexity of the mission, which isn't even planned yet. So someone that wanted to go there and dig this would have to get funding, would have to build the spacecraft, get a rocket, build the probe, get there, figure out how to drill through 10 kilometers of ice, let a couple missions fail, try again. Maybe the fifth time is finally a success. I'm bummed about Europa because me personally, I'm never gonna know. Too bad. Dun, 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 doom and gloom. I'm never gonna know if there's life on Europa. But boy, is it a tantalizing prospect, huh? Enjoy.